Shopping for new fish is one of the most fun parts of the hobby. It's like being a kid in a candy store, seeing all the options and just daydreaming about the beautiful tanks that you can build. And I like shopping for fish online because you can find a much wider breadth of selection. You can find specialty fish dealers that offer species that you just won't find at your local brick and mortar pet store. But there's not a good fish marketplace online, a place where you can go and see different fish offerings from different sellers and different buyers coming in and sharing their experience and feedback and talking with one another and learning from one another. There's some options out there, but they're very dated and they don't offer robust tools to help you in your fish buying experience. But that's all changed with a brand new website that we're talking about today. And I'm not alone. We have a very special guest. So today we are talking about Vivi, the exciting new fish marketplace. And here to help me with that, please welcome Alex from The Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. So, Alex, welcome. Welcome. I appreciate you sparing your time to come talk to us about Vivi.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm happy to be here. Glad to be on the show and excited to see all those tanks behind you that I've seen in your videos.
I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. So, Alex, as I understand it, you've been involved with Vivi from the very early stages. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I have been involved with Aquatic Arts, who has the same owner, financially speaking, as Vivi.com. They hired me as a freelance worker when this was a project that only had three people involved. Now it's a full-fledged LLC company. Yeah, so I've been working on it since it was a concept, kind of throwing in ideas from the freshwater Aquarius consumer standpoint, and then also from a graphic designer user interface standpoint. And so I'll come up with an idea or draw a sketch for something of the website and its functionality or whatnot, and then I'll get told by the programmers whether or not that's a feasible thing to include.
So hey, Alex, why don't we start off? Why don't you tell us what is Vivi?
Vivi is fish buying on the internet 2.0. If what we've had in the past is 1.0, it is going to be the definitive way that people will want to buy fish. It is going to have transparency, ethics, and high quality fish where the breeders are compensated well and the buyers get a good deal, all under the oversight of a great framework that has a ton of educational information, as well as really, really fair prices and commission point for each transaction. It is uh, light years ahead of what we have right now on the market or on the internet for buying and selling fish. What does Vivi mean, or what is Vivi? It's Vivvy, and it comes from a derivation of Latin, viva or vivo, life, to have life, living, long live.
Mhm.
It's kind of a prefix in Latin, and so the idea is to kind of for people who breed fish at home or who import specialty fish or breed any sort of shrimp or plants, fresh or saltwater. The idea was to have a platform where they can sell and also share information on all their tank parameters, on how to condition creatures that they're under their care, what the conditions were like that the creatures were spawned or bred in, and also total transparency in if it's homebred, if it's domestic, or if it's overseas sourced. And then the other big thing is they are group bargaining for prices. So shipping costs are able to be negotiated by Vivi. You'll find the cheapest shipping, and it's all going to be overnight
Mhm.
insured, and it's all insured. The financial aspect of it, you're protected it's by Vivi, basically, in that the sellers are verified. Plus, you'll have reviews and people who may have only felt like they could sell locally in the past.
Mhm.
Now it will really enable them to sell around the whole country. And instead of, maxing out your market of some very specific cichlid that has 200 babies, maybe now, people will feel comfortable to put that up. It might be something rare, and you can get a fair price rather than selling them to the local store for $1 a baby. Now you are the one in control of that, and with great deals on shipping. So it's supposed to bring the price down for buyers and bring the price up for sellers. So kind of
Okay.
cuts out the middleman. Now,
Yeah.
on the buyer side, there's a lot of utility in this site too, in that if you're brand new, it's got all the water acclimation. It's got info care sheets on every species that they are selling at the moment, and I believe they're going to try to make that true for everything, even obscure species. They want a care sheet in the system eventually, so they have folks working on that are master aquarists, PhD ichthyologists on their team and things.
Mm.
But then beyond all that, it allows you to create a LinkedIn like profile where you actually create a little avatar of your tank. You can make as many as you'd like. And then you can share photo galleries of your tank and input all your water parameters. Maybe you just want to share, I've got these 70 species of plants, I've got these 5 species of fish, and the water parameters, substrate, and filtration are done this way. And it basically will be a social media page for that ecosystem. And they're hoping that that will also help people learn from really beautiful tanks or really productive spawning
Mhm.
tanks and things, that we can learn from each other that way.
Yeah,
And
cool.
eventually it will come online as somewhat of a social media and commenting and messaging platform, most likely as well. But right now, all that stuff is kind of waiting to happen and waiting to populate. So we need more
Yeah.
people involved, basically.
Who do you think Vivi was made for? Is there one particular type of person out there, one particular type of hobbyist that Vivi is really designed to accommodate and to help?
Yeah, this site is for people who want to truly treat their fish like a pet, or like a living creature that you care about rather than a piece
Hmm.
of furniture, because
Sure.
it will give you those details of this fish was raised in hard water. Maybe you have hard water, and this will then allow you to source fish that are either nearby or across the country. Doesn't matter, you can decide where they're located by the listings, and then you can find water parameters that are similar to yours. So it's really for the discerning aquarist or for the new aquarist that wants to learn.
So, Alex, you've touched on a lot of the features that Vivi has to offer. Why don't we talk a little bit about let's talk about some of the fun stuff, right? Like the fish for sale or the corals, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does Vivi have to offer in that regard?
Well, so it is pretty darn expansive in that they're going to have everything from amphibians to coral frags to brackish water fish, brackish water plants, even anything that somebody is breeding at their local club or in their local basement, or that they're bringing into the country that's in aquaria, freshwater or saltwater, will be up and available on this site, with the exceptions of the things that are either illegal or massive. This site probably won't be for you if you want a 12-foot long shark or something like that. But
So, with all these new layers of ethical responsibility built into the site and its management and kind of the social aspects too, the social networking tools built in, that's a lot to offer. What would you say will be the defining impact Vivi has on the hobby?
well, I think one is it is going to allow a fair price for the effort and energy that people put into their fish. So if you're breeding a fish, one, you're going to not get quote unquote middleman. So you're not going to be offered a tenth of the price or even a third of the price. You're going to get 85% of whatever that retail price is, which will then allow the retail price hopefully to slide down a little bit, and the buyers then get a good deal, and then also the sellers still get way more than they would get in the past by selling wholesale. This allows you to scale from maybe you just have 5 fish that were born, all the way up to you have 500 that are coming out of multiple tanks every month, and you're churning out specific angelfish.
What if I have some fish to sell, but I've never done it before, and I'm a little nervous about the process, the idea of putting my fish in a box and sending it across country? Does Vivi have any resources to help me out with that?
That's a great question because unlike any of the other platforms, yes, there are a lot of help and resource guides on there. So you can go into the resource tab and you can actually look up what are the best practices for shipping when it's 30 degrees outside this time of year, or what are the best practices for when it's 110 and you're shipping to Phoenix or something.
So tell me, when you get the chance, what's the first thing you're going to buy off of Vivi?
So the first thing already was some banjo catfish.
Oh, already?
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I think I'm going to be on the hunt for rainbow shiners.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I hope we see a lot more native fish on here.
Yeah, that would be super exciting if we saw a lot more natives coming onto the market through Vivi.
Yeah, and the other thing that I hope we see on Vivi and that I would encourage is maybe you don't see a pleco or you don't see a cichlid that you know is out there, but you've never seen in the hobby. If you have some source or some connection overseas and you can import it, when it may not have been worth your while to spend all that money in the past, now I hope some people look at this as a business opportunity in the sense that maybe you're only going to bring in 20 of them and they are $200 or $300 a fish or something wild like that. Now those fish that would never have been considered in the past, now you have an audience nationwide of people who may be into that niche item, and you can actually see on what their wish list items are. There will be a ranking that is given to sellers so they can actually know, hey, people are looking for X, Y, or Z. I should start breeding or importing or whatever it may be. I should get a hold of X, Y, and Z and bring it to the marketplace. And I hope that that expands the selection in our hobby immensely. And I think it really will.
Yeah, I know that's very exciting. I'll tell you what's going to go at the top of my wish list immediately are pretty much any Malagasy cichlid. Those are cichlids from Madagascar.
I
Sorry to
figured
go
you'd say that.
not to go on a soapbox, but in a lot of my videos right now, I have to extol the amazing virtues of Malagasy cichlids. They are very cool and they need our help.
Most definitely. And they're beautiful too.
Oh,
Really interesting fish.
so beautiful. Well, thanks again, Alex, for joining us today to talk about Vivi. And thank you to everyone watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you'll check out Vivi sometime. It's a very exciting option to buy and sell your fish online. And I can't wait to see what they do with the platform as it matures and how it will affect the hobby. And who knows, maybe someday you'll see some fish from this fish room for sale on the site. Either way, thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take it easy, everyone.